Howdy, howdy, everyone. I got that from Rowdy Hacks. Um, Welcome to Intro to Git. We'll be starting in a few minutes just to let everyone trickle in. Hi, Matt. Ooh. And I want to make this as interactive as possible, so feel free to stop me at any time with any questions or thank you for that. The check-in is right here. Yes, so this is what we will be covering for the next 2-ish hours. If you want anything to add, um, or if you want me to add anything, feel free to let me know. In the meantime, while waiting for everyone else. And if the text isn't as readable, let me know as well. Alrighty, I think we're good to get started. This is going to be a little bit informal, so I won't be having slides or anything. And again, if you have any questions, interrupt me at any time in the chat and I'll be sure to answer them. So what is Git? I want to make a distinction between Git and GitHub. Git is the version control system where you can work with other people or with yourself and keep track of the different versions of your code so that, for example, if you want to backtrack, like you would restore a version in Google Docs, you can do that. If you want to see what changes you've made over time, you can do that. That main foundation is Git, whereas GitHub is the interface. It is an interface that lets you that makes it easier for you to do the version control stuff. Hello, everyone. Um, and GitHub has a lot of features that, for example, I'm going to use my own account, lets you have a README, lets you have repositories. This is something that a lot of people are become very proud of. Their heat maps that show how much you contribute over time, etc. And yeah, I'm not so sure where people are in their Git journey. So I was going to go over how to create an account for those who are new, but I just want to make sure that people are cool. Heat map is almost all green. I love to see that. Um, and yeah, so I want to know if anyone needs any help making the account. Otherwise, I'll go into how to update your README so that you have something to introduce yourself on your GitHub page. Gitpod, I would love to learn what that is. I'm assuming that's so GitHub is the main, like the most popular way of using Git, but there's also GitLab, Bitbucket, and I guess Gitpod now. Um, but yeah, I hear no comment about creating an account, so I'm gonna erase that. Alt Shift 5, and we're gonna go into creating a personal README. Um, to There is a method where you can do the command line for everything. Um, and there is a way where you can use the GitHub desktop to do everything for you. Um, for this exercise, we'll be using the GitHub interface. And I'll show you how VS Code lets you do a lot. Um, To those who just came in, I just explained the difference between Git and GitHub. And we're going into how to create this README that introduces you to anyone that looks into your GitHub profile. Going back. Oh, yes. So to create a new repository, we have here new repository, and in order to create the repo that you want to have for the introduction, you just use your own username. And it says it's a special repository because you can add a README to your GitHub profile. Since I already have it, it won't let me create a new one. But what that will look like is um, just usual markdown, and it actually has a template for you down here in the bottom when you first make it. What you're currently working on, what you're learning, what you want to collaborate with. So for me, I put what I'm currently doing. So I'm a coach here at MLH, and I'm going to Microsoft this summer as a software engineering intern, what I've done in the past, what I want to do, which is product management and entrepreneurship, and then stuff to contact me, etc. Um, okay, I don't think I missed anything in the chat. Cool. Um, and then you can commit your change and then you're good to go. The next thing I was going to go over is how to create a repository. So there's the repository where you start it from GitHub, and then uh, you you start on GitHub and then you make it locally. And then you already have a local folder, like you started already, and then you want to put it on GitHub. I'll start with the one where you're starting in GitHub and you don't have anything locally yet. So we create a new repository. I'll call it MLH demo. I will make sure that, or time permitting, which I'm pretty sure I have a lot of time. I will share this repo with everyone, and then we can create our own commit messages. We can make pull requests together, merge them together, and I just want to make this as interactive as possible so you guys can follow along. Um, so to create a new repository, it covers everything that you need. So you can literally just follow the instructions on this page. This is right after I made the repository. This first one is if you make the file, if you haven't made the files yet. If I want to open my VS Code, which I might have to reshare my screen. Open, okay, we got this. Share, no. I'm gonna take a second and share my screen with this. I'm going to be jumping back and forth. I don't know how effective that'll be, but we'll work it out. So we'll clone. So what I said earlier was that VS Code has a lot of what Git does for you. So I'll clone a repository. I'll get the link from the MLH demo repo that I just made, and then I can just clone it. And then I'll put it in my GitHub folder. So Cajun says that I just do repo to local since it's easier. So I agree that it's easier. I just want to make sure that everyone knows both options in case you already made the local first, like if you have a hackathon project and you already made your React app locally and then you want to put that in a repo afterwards. So I just want to make sure that you know that too, that too is an option. How do I have so many things down the side of VS Code? I would love to go on a tangent and talk to you about that. So this is the Git stuff that I mentioned. Did I already clone it? I think I already cloned it. But this is all the Git stuff that you're ever gonna need. Lets you push, pull, commit, everything with an interface so that you don't have to type it in. It has saved my life and has spoiled me a little bit. This is the debug one. This is I think this shows up if you have If you have like WSL, Windows as a subsystem for Linux for me. This is the extensions one. Live share is something super cool if you haven't seen it before. It's like it turns your code into Google Docs. So you can collaborate with other people at the same time and you can see their cursor, you can see where they type. Super cool. Um, and then this is PowerShell because I am a Windows user. It's not the best thing in the world, but it works. And then finally, this is GitHub Classroom. So if you have classes and we don't care. We don't care. If you have classes, this is where all of your homework will go, and that's a separate thing from the built-in Git stuff. This is this is not a paid version. I don't even think you can pay for VS Code at all, so don't worry. All of this is extensions and stuff. But yeah, and then let's see. Going back, I will open the repo that I have that I said would be MLH demo. MLH demo. Cool. So what we have right now will just be an empty repo. I'll create a new file. Oh, I said I would, or I'll make a file first. Hello.py. Python is my preferred language, so I'll just say that. Print hello world. Ah, all right, friends, that's it. We're done. I'm kidding. So we have that, and then this is what I said would be cool. So this is the version of git add, and then I'll make a commit message first, commit, and then control enter, committed. And then you just push it and we're good to go. So when I reload this, I now have one file that says hello world. Um, Next up, I am going to does anyone want to help me out? And oh, what was the name of the extension of turning codes to Google Docs? It's called LiveShare. That's the extension that you'll need to collaborate very real time inside VS Code. Um, let's see. Oh, does anyone want to help me out with with demonstrating how to work together? I can share the repo with you and then we'll make the files together. Um, and you can make a pull request that I will then merge. Yay, Matt is helping. Awesome. And Lion too. Um, It's okay. You don't have to use Python. That's just me. We aren't even running it, so this is just to make files and stuff. Um, I'm Matt Davidson, so I can yeah, so it would be great if you guys, whoever wants to help out, um, put your GitHub username in the chat. Matt Davidson. What am I doing wrong? Davison. There we go. Cool. Timmy526. And then GOO brick. Brick. Cool. So Lion03. I'm gonna call it after these four. I think we'll have enough to demonstrate properly what it'll be like. Um, just checking. I think we're good. So I showed how to do a commit, and now we're going into pushing and pulling. I don't think I demonstrated that, but I don't think I explained what it is. So pushing means going into your repo. Pulling means taking from your repo. Pull towards you, push towards repo. Um, and then let's see. Yes. So I'm going to reshare back into GitHub. And let's see. Not you, you. There we go. So now we have, let's see if people have accepted their invitations. No, you guys have time. It's okay. When you get the chance, accept your invitations. Um, there should be an email that says you've been invited to the repo, and then you just click accept invitation, I think is the wording, and you should be good. Let's see. So let's say the ideal way once you have like a big code base, so this is a little overkill maybe for hackathon projects, because you guys are working together at the same time and it's a fairly small project because you're doing it in 24 hours. But if you want to go into open source contributions, which I would love to talk about at the end of the Git workshop, the ideal way to do it is to fork. Forking is like fork in the path. You create your own copy of the repo that you have right now and making it your own. So if I fork this into, oh, because it's mine, I'm just going to do this here. So I now have a forked from myself into this organization, MLH demo. So now everything is in here. But then there's this thing, fetch upstream. What that would mean is you're taking upstream is what has already been done, and then downstream, no. Upstream is what has already been committed, and then um downstream is like what was like the past. I'm gonna defer on that. I'll get back to it when I have a better answer. Um, okay, so I see that Matt is in. I'm so sorry for the people that gave me their usernames, but I didn't get a chance to put you in. I don't need that many people, but I'll make sure to involve you guys at my next one if you guys show up. I have two more workshops, I think. But yeah, so if Matt is in, I'm gonna ask you to create a file. So what Matt is going to be doing is pulling a copy of the repository and then creating a file. And then what I'm going to ask Matt to do is create a pull request instead of just merging it, going straight into main. So I will also demonstrate what that's going to look like while Matt does it. Um, so one way so that you and your teammates um, don't have merge conflicts or any of those buggy or error messagey situations, um, would be to uh, create your own branch and work off of those branches. So if you're doing front end, one branch for front end, one branch for back end. If you're doing if you're making the authentication and someone else is doing the database, that each of those can be their own branches. And then once you're all done, you merge them together using pull requests, which I will of course demonstrate here. So um, I would have to show this in VS Code. I knew that. I'm going to close everything else. I think this is the one that I need. I will switch again into this VS Code. Okay, so we're here. Now what I'm going to do, this time we're going to use the command line just so you guys can see what that looks like. I'm opening a command line here. I'm going to assume that people aren't very Windowsy, and I'll use Ubuntu. I'm probably mispronouncing it. To this day, I don't know if it's Ubuntu or Ubuntu or something. Um, ooh, I have someone. come in. What is the purpose of GitHub? So a recap of what I said earlier, GitHub is a version control system, and you it lets you control different versions or different um not copies, different versions of your same code, and it lets you separate, for example, one version has your front end, one version has your back end, and then you can put them together later when you're sure that no one is editing the same file, for example. And what else is GitHub good for? Let's see, what am I missing? Um, yeah, it's a very, very good way to collaborate. It's like the main way people collaborate um, when working on programming projects. Okay, cool. So now we are at Git branch or Git checkout dash B and then branch one. So what I'm doing here, so Git checkout, ooh, I would love to show you guys this. Git, if you look up Git cheat sheet, there's going to be the very first one that comes from education.github.com that has all the commands that you're ever going to need. Um, and, ooh, I'm not showing it. Oops. Um, Share screen again. This is a little not the best way to do things, but that's okay. I'll do better next time. So this is the GitHub cheat sheet. We sometimes give them out in person during in-person hackathons. I remember doing this at Rowdy Hacks last month. But basically, everything you need to make, include every command that you will probably ever need, plus the description of what they're doing is going to be in this cheat sheet. Um, Again, just look up Git cheat sheet and it should be good. Thank you. Someone put it down in the chat. Awesome, awesome. So I could do that, but I have StreamYard on one side and like where all of your chat is, and I don't think whatchamacallit in Inception for like an infinite loop of screens might be the best thing to happen. So I'm just gonna keep it like this. I don't have two screens. I have an ultra wide instead that I use as two screens. Um, Going back to, I am going on so many tangents. Thank you for being patient with me. Um, Going back to our repo, so I'm saying git checkout, which is usually if you have a branch already, git checkout main, git checkout front end. That's the regular way. And then the dash B is saying create this branch and then check it out. So that's like one way to combine two different commands into one line here. So now git checkout dash B branch. Now I have created a new branch. If you look at here, now I have two branches. I have, oh, that's Lions. Where's mine? I didn't push it. You're right. Good point. I'll publish my branch. And now nothing's happening, but my branch exists at least. Cool. So what I'm going to do here is touch hello.tbp. That's another language that I know how to do, sort of. Now I have hello.tbp, and I think if I remember correctly, this, oopsies. I think this is how std cout. Oh, I need to do the int main. I remember this. I'm learning from school. Std cout. Yes, that's how you do it. Hello world. Another one. I don't know how to type today. Cool. And L for the next line, and I think that should be it. Oh, std. I'm probably doing something wrong. There's definitely something wrong here. However, we're not running it, so we are totally okay. My VS Code is cleaner than the default because I chose a very pink, whatchamacallit? Skin? But yeah. Oh, include IO stream. Thank you, Dev. Include IO stream. Thank you. So now that should fix that. Perfect. The colors changed too. Awesome. Thank you. So now we have git add dot. The dot means add everything, but one way that it's best practice that you might not need to do at hackathons, but you will definitely need at internships or the MLH fellowship would be to do it file by file. So hello.cpp I think would be the way to do it. So we've added it. So if you check in your source control, it's now been staged, and then we say git commit dash m I think cpp, and then git push is the command line way of doing it. Oh no! Please don't make me put in my password. I don't know what my password is. Let me be the right password. Dang. Okay, we'll do it here. It's okay. We're okay. Doing it file by file also makes the green brighter. Yo, that's so big brain. Awesome. Yeah, so if you do it file by file, your heat map on your page will be greener. So smart. Okay. It's okay, so we have this. Now if I have my branch, it now says it's one commit ahead of master. So is Lion. So we have a pull request open. We'll check that out. Oh, both of y'all have some. Okay. Let's start with pull request number 1, and we have an index.html. So when, for example, maintainers of open source repositories or just repositories in general, what they'll do is check your commits, see what the difference is. You can click on that, and then you added one line that says hello world. Perfect. Files change is also another way if you have bigger commits. But basically, you are good to go. You can usually, oh, next up, whoever is in my repo, let's try making a merge conflict on purpose. Um, just so we can show everyone, just so we can show everyone what that looks like. So we'll merge the pull request, confirm merge, and merging is just like, so we for example, when we forked it, it came into 2 separate repositories. When we merge, same thing with branches. So both fork repos and separate branches. When they're separate, when you merge them, you combine all of the changes together. So now it's purple, and we merged Matt's repo, or sorry, Matt's branch. We're good to go there. And then you'll see that it's no longer in the open list of pull requests. So let's try Lions. Let's look at what commits they put. Um, oh wow, cool. So this is an Lion. Is this the same file that I had, because it looks like line 1 is the same. But if it is, that is a perfect example. So we have, yep, same file. Oh my God, I haven't been sharing my GitHub screen this whole time. Thank you. Oops, there. So thank you for that. Now prints the user's name. Um, It's a good thing that there are two pull requests, so I can demonstrate it a second time. We can see the changes here in files changed, etc. Going back, we're gonna merge our pull request, um, and then confirm the merge. And then now it's purple, it's perfectly merged. That prompt says that there hasn't been any problems. However, if you Oh, so Matt and Lion, let's try editing so in each of your branches, edit the hello.py with different things, like whatever you want to change it to. And then let me know when you guys are done and we'll check that out. In the meantime, I'm going to compare and merge my pull request for the CPP one. This is what it looks like if it's your own. Then you create your, oh, this is what it looks like when you create your pull request. I'm sorry. So that's what that looks like. And then you can merge, confirm merge. You're good to go. Cool. So we have 3 files in our repo now. We have 3 separate branches. One thing you can do is if your branches has been merged, you can clean it up and say delete branch. So now there are only 2 branches left, Lions and the master branch. Let's see. Anyone done with the messing up hello.py? New PR made. Nice. Oh, wait. New PR made. Nice. Let's look at pull requests. Oh, did you push? No. Wait, what's wrong? We got this. It's okay. I didn't push. Okay. That is if you feel like your changes haven't been reflected, 9 times out of 10 you just forgot to push. So that's another debugging um thing. Let's see. Let's look at pull requests again. Let's look at close. So Matt, you had the first one 4 minute that was merged 4 minutes ago for index.html. Is this the one that you meant, or um did you edit the py file? You can write gibberish. It's totally okay. Because all we're trying to do is demonstrate. Oh, also, how do I create a how do I create a merge conflict? Okay, so if we have this, right? For example, change line 2 into something, and then I think so. If someone else changes line 1 and you changed line 2, that will create a merge conflict. In the meantime, I will answer questions while our demonstrators will demonstrate. Um, oh no, not that one. Matt, let's try to debug what you did. Um, you created a line 4. Pull request, I see one. There you go. We're good. We Gucci. Oh, Timothy, hey, if you did something that, share it with us. There's no such thing. I mean, it's perfectly okay to be wrong, and this is a good place to be wrong because you have people who can help you correct yourself. So totally okay. And then how to add a working project from my system to GitHub. So let's try while waiting for the merge conflict. Um, because I think Lion is going to not destroy, is going to merge conflict or hello.py in the meantime. So we will do new repository, and then let's say, do I have a repo that hasn't been done yet? Oh no, I'll just make a new one. That's totally okay. So I will make a new file. No, Give me 1 second. I'm gonna, let's see. New folder, MLH, local demo. And then hello.py. I'm just making, so I know you can't see the VS. So, Lion, you edited line 2 and made a PR, but it says no conflicts. But if I merge someone else's, it might cause the merge conflict because then the master is now different from what you edited. So I think I hope that's gonna work. Um, let's see. Okay, so going back to creating a new repository, we'll say MLH local demo, and then we'll keep it public. We'll create the repository, and then we'll push an existing repository from the command line. This is, where was it? Where was it? This is what you would need to use. These are the instructions that you'd need to use. So let's say git remote add origin, and then git branch and master. Let's see. Wrong one. Let's see. This is, oh, I know what I'm doing. 1 second. MLH local demo, select, and then stop screen share again. Whee! Local demo. Here we go. And Gubrick, yes, I am using the terminal within VS Code. So to demo, it's Control Shift and then that tilde next to 1 is the shortcut. And then, so my default is PowerShell, but PowerShell isn't the best thing in the world. So if you click on these in the caret next to the plus, you can change which um, command line you use. I don't have Bash because I'm on a Windows, but I do have Ubuntu, something. Okay, so we have git remote add origin. We got that. Not a Git repository. Of course not, because I have to say git init. There we go. Now we've initialized an empty repository, and then we have the changes here, and then we stage the changes, and then we create push local, and then we publish the branch into a public MLH local demo repo. I know, that's what I wanted you to do. It's okay, guys. We got this. There. Cool, progress. And then our next one was git branch -m master. We're good there. And then now we push. That is what we are doing. And we're doing this again because publish branch would be better. I don't memorize my password. Okay, so now when we go into, I stop sharing the screen and share the other one again. I'm getting the hang of it. There. So if we reload this after I did that, now hello.py where I pushed locally has now been saved. I hope that was helpful. What to do in PowerShell? I think it's the same thing. Let's try it out. I think it should be the same commands. I just use Ubuntu because it wasn't like I know it'll work for sure is why I use it. So let's try PowerShell. Git, no. Touch hi.py. I'm not good at naming things. Oh, that's one of the things. Okay, so if you use PowerShell, there are some commands. Um, we cannot see your working window. Okay, noted. Is that better? I hope it is. Um, so what this what this is saying is that touch is not a PowerShell command. So touch in Linux and Unix just makes a file, but here in PowerShell it's not recognized. So that's one of the downsides of PowerShell. They might have a different command, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So but all the Git stuff I am certain will work in PowerShell, just not touch and some other functions or like commands. But yeah, cool, 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 cool. Now oh, I remember where we're at. We are now going to attempt a merge conflict. Cool. So going back to MLH demo, we have 4 branches, fun stuff. So let's do hello.py. Let's merge that. We confirm the merge. We are good. Hopefully this will cause a merge conflict. Dang. Were you guys changing the same line? Yes, it is an O, but it's okay. We have plenty of time. Okay. Let's Let me make the merge conflict myself. What does our code look like right now? I don't know Python low. That's perfectly okay. And then let's look at what Lion changed. Files changed. Hello world. So I'm gonna change line 2. I'm gonna change line 2, and I'm gonna do it right here because that way I don't have to change. I don't have to switch screens. Format name. I also don't know Python. Jeez. So we will commit that change. I think then this pull request will not cause a merge conflict. Yes! We are usually not supposed to be happy with a merge conflict, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we are happy that we have something worth demonstrating. Okay, so now this branch has conflicts that must be resolved. Yay, we made errors. um, so we're resolving the conflicts. One way to do it is locally on your VS Code, but for tiny little conflicts like 1-2 liners, you can actually use GitHub, like the GitHub website interface. So resolve conflicts, it now has this. So this is what it usually looks like, where even on VS Code it looks the same, where there's left arrows going for the incoming change, and then this one is the current change. So these 3 things, the less than, the equal sign, and the greater than, do I know? Yeah, will show um, which one you want to keep. So for example, if I want to keep both, all I have to do is erase this, and erase this. And now I'm done. But if you want to, one thing that, so yeah, so we do it this way, we're good there. I have now resolved the merge conflict. I will mark it as resolved, then I commit the merge. That commits it to the branch, and then now we can merge the pull request. Was that a helpful example of the merge conflict? So for a merge conflict to occur, the 2 PRs need to be changing the same line. More often than not, yes. So to answer that, you need they're changing the general thing for merge conflicts is like if you're touching the same file. Um, if you're touching different parts of the same file, you're good. But if, for example, there was another way to save yourself from a merge conflict is pulling right before you push. So that's another best practice. But whenever you push, pull first, because the merge conflict came from the fact that the thing that Lion was changing had already changed when he made when we're trying to merge his pull request. However, if you have, wait, what was my point? Yeah, so if you pull, then the change that was my, I don't know Python either, will be pulled into the Alliance local, and then when they push again into that pull request, it is updated, and then you won't have the conflict anymore. So the two ways to resolve a merge conflict is one, pull before pushing, and two, manually fix the merge conflict either through VS Code or through the GitHub interface. Cool. We are good there. I'll merge this pull request again, and then we are good there. Cool. Does any maybe I breezed through it, or as in like went too quickly, but does anyone have any questions, concerns, objections, further suggestions, etc. before what else is on my agenda today? We did this very well. We explained this. We did this. We did both. I kind of breezed through this. And then last thing would be contributing to open source. But in the meantime, we have, yay, more green on your profile. Okay, so using multiple branches to PR. Would you mean, I think we showed that when like both Matt and Lion's repos branches were being merged at the same time, and you guys are touching the same file? Or is there a different example that you're trying to suggest? Oh, two or more PRs from one user at once. Do you want to try that out? Make two separate PRs? Cool. So Matt will make two separate PRs that we will then merge. Oh, this will be a perfect example. So, Matt, change the same line twice, and then we can demonstrate that pulling before pushing will fix the merge conflict. We can try that. What do you think? I'll take that. I'll take the silence as a yes and let Matt do his thing. Um, let's see. In the meantime, I would love to talk about open source contributions, not just because it's a plug towards the MLH fellowship, but also because, ooh, Lion, do it too. Yes. Um, I forgot how to make a branch. That would be git checkout dash b and then whatever branch name you want. I think that's readable. Hopefully that's readable. Cool. And then let's see. Oh, so one way to start contributing to open source is to go through these issues. Um, these are mine. Because in school I created 3 repositories for Hacktoberfest, and no one, not no one, but like very few people contributed to it. So I still have all of my issues, but I can just remove it and show. So these are the issues that everyone all over GitHub has. So what this means is, so an issue is something that they need fixed, improved, or created. Um, and you can, it's kind of like a free for all. Like if you see a problem that needs to be fixed, just go ahead and fix it. Not go ahead and fix it, but Let's say create forgot password page. This looks pretty easy. So I'm going to click on it. And then if I want to take it, I can say, can I take this issue? And then I'll comment it, and then it can then be assigned to me over here. And then I can make the repo, create a branch. So usually in these cases, you fork it because you're making an open, it's such a big code base that you don't want to mess it up. Um, so you fork it. Forking is, as I mentioned before, a little similar to creating your own branch, except it's the whole thing instead of just one branch. Um, and then, so I would say, let me take this issue, and then I'd work on it, and then the maintainers will do the exact same thing we demonstrated, that um, it'll show the same things that we demonstrated, where you where the maintainer will look through your pull request, review any changes. Make sure to check, like, most open source repos have style guides where, like, they say it it's the style guide can be as simple as, like, put your curly braces in the next line instead of on the line. That's like a C++ thing versus a JavaScript thing, but it's still important to follow the rules set forth by the owner of the repository. um let's see. Yes. If I want to take it, yeah, I do that. And then to answer, how do we locate the issues you created? So when you click on issues, it defaults to the ones that you made, because it says author, you, archived, false. But what I did um, in order to show every issue in the GitHub ecosystem, you just remove those last two things, and then this is everything. Whee! Cool. And there are 1,214,000 pages worth of issues. You will not run out of things to contribute to, I swear. Yay, created a faulty PR. Nice, 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 nice. Let's go to MLH demo. Um, let's look at the PRs. We have added a print MLH statement. Let's merge that immediately. And then let's look at the next pull request. I think, yeah, this would be the same file. Bam, merge conflict. So, Lion, what I'm going to ask you to do, excuse me, is git pull and then git push again. And then let me know once you're done. And then I'll reload it. And ideally, when I reload this, that merge conflict should be gone. I made CSS because it's beautiful. Let's check out the CSS that Matt made. So let's merge this pull request for index.html. And then let's do, oh, there's three. Okay. This is also going to be a merge conflict. Okay. Matt, can you try the same thing where you pull and then push? Update. Ooh, Goober. So same thing for Goob. Um, you'd have to pull and then push in order to fix the issue. Oh, I accidentally closed. You closed it. Oh, okay, that's you. Um, when you create a, if you are already on a pull request, like on your branch, you don't have to close it. So I'm gonna reopen this for you. And any changes you make on that same branch will kind of follow in that pull request. So you'll keep adding to that same pull request without, like, having to manually say add this to the pull request. Okay. So we see if that's working. Did you change the CSS one or the update index HTML one? HTML. Okay, cool. This should, dang, not it. Okay, let's try CSS. Nice. So we saw that index.html was changed, but because Matt pulled and then pushed, the merge conflict was fixed. So we merged that pull request again. This is so good for my heat map. Thank you so much. um, so yeah, so those are the pull requests. Um, you're good, Lion. I think we've demonstrated pretty well. Let's see, did Goob, do you want to try pushing? No, 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 pulling and then pushing. And then we'll see if yours also fixes itself. In the meantime, I'm almost about to wrap up because I think that's everything that I wanted to demonstrate. Ooh, let's look at Matt's heat map. But in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, anything they want me to go over, please let me know. I have a whole hour to spend. I don't have to use it, but I would like to make sure that everyone has everything they want answered. Let's look at Matt's heat map. That's lit. Yo, look at that. That's almost every single day. Wow. Claps. Um, cool, 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 cool. Open beans. I'm just curious. I'll check it out later. Hee hee. Let's see. Is there anything else? Is there, yeah, so is there anything else anyone wants me to go over before I say goodbye for the afternoon or morning or evening, depending on where y'all are at? How merge request works in Git. So we went over that a little bit or a lot bit, but merge requests. So I think what you mean is pull requests that you merge. So that's just terminology. Um, let's say, are any of these not merged, conflicted? Let's find out. Um, I think this fourth one. I'm optimistic. Nice. So what's so to Ayush, um, if you have a pull request that you made from your own branch, what it'll look like from the pull request side is you just the prompts are very helpful. You just follow them and then you confirm the merge and then you're done. You can delete the branch, you can keep the branch, that's totally up to you. Once you have a pretty big code base, you may want to delete old branches though. We tried so hard to make them conflict now that now we oh no. That was a bad no shoot. That's not what I wanted to do. Awesome. Okay. You are totally welcome. This is the first time I've live streamed for MLH, so I really hope I did a good job. Um, let's see. Anything else from anyone else? Questions, concerns, objections, etc. Try to merge mine. Let's check it out. This one. Dang. Let's reload it though. No, sorry. Can we build a dynamic website on Git? So, based on the way that you're asking this question, there might be a little misunderstanding on what Git is, because you can build you can build anything and then save it on Git, but you can't use Git to build it. You're like Git isn't uh product that lets you create stuff. Like it's not going to build the website for you. You might want to use Webflow or something like that for that. Git log and git fetch. I would love to. So git log, if we, let's see, I will stop screen and then share again for my VS Code. So if we say if we say git log, what that'll show is every single commit we've ever done on our branch. And then it'll have the commit ID so this is like a little bit more intermediate Git, but you could totally revert your commits. Like if you committed something and you want backseas, you can totally do that by using these IDs. But that might be for another time. That's what git log does. Um, and then git fetch is it's like pull. Um, let's find out the difference between pull and fetch. So fetch, according to the cheat sheet, is fetch down all branches from that Git remote. And then Git pull is fetch and merge any commits from the tracking remote branch. I see. So from my understanding then, so Git pull is from your branch alone. Git fetch takes everything in all the branches of that Git remote. So yeah, let me know if that helps, Brianna. Um, we do have a whole other hour, yes. So that's what I'm saying. If you guys want me to cover anything else, I have the time to do it. Let's see. You are so welcome. I'm super duper hoping that I was able to help. Let's see. Sometimes when I do git checkout branch, it just creates a new branch. The dash might be something. But the way to create a new branch is git branch something or git checkout dash b something. Um, if the branch doesn't exist yet, then it'll create the new branch. But if it already exists, you kind of you just do what it usually does. Um, GitHub licenses for open source. Yes. So, it's a lot of legal jargon, but basically, my suggestion if you want to make an open source project is the it's not the default, but like the one that like is a catch-all for all the rules of open source would be I think MIT license, where basically it says you can use all the code that you want, just um attribute it to me, I think is what you need to do. How to effectively review code. I can do that by going over a different repository, an existing one. Let's go through my organizations. Let's go through craving. Let's go through, I think here. So if you notice, this one's pretty active. Or it was. um, so let's do the pull request. So this is what my friend created, and what I would do. So this is one, oh, you can't see it. I will fix that. I will fix that. Um, and then so I'll go over reviewing code, and then I'll go over um, finding a project to contribute to. I like those. I know. I will fix. I will fix this. Let's go to. Let's see, GitHub. There we go. So this is a repo that my friends and I have been working on together. We were gonna make a dating app. I was so ready to turn it into a startup. It did not succeed. It was asking too much out of me, and I'm still a student, so I dropped it. Um, but this is a screenshot of what they were trying to do. These are all of the branches that they did. As you can see, they were able to resolve the conflicts themselves. Um, And then this is the update. This is what they made. Whee! 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 So yeah, that's a GIF of the progress that my friends were making. And right now it still has conflicts, but a way to review code is so if you go to files changed, um, you can see what they changed and what they removed or added. This is new. This is new. Hooray for quality of life changes. Let's see. Um, what's a good one that needs to be changed or that has been changed a lot? Okay. No, I don't like that. So, um, effectively review code. So, for example, um, there are certain best practices that you need to learn over time um, as you get better at coding or having more experience or have an internship or work on larger code bases. But for example, this is just adding a new line, right? But it's like the equivalent of HTML's BR and it works, but it's not the best way to add spaces. So one way that would have been a better way to do this would have been to add styles that um, added a margin at the bottom of each text. Would have been better than adding new lines each time. It's it's not the end of the world. It's not like the worst thing to do. It's a best practice thing, but it's a good example of what you want to look for when you're reviewing code. So another thing would be, let's see. Um, I have a repo here that might not be the best thing in the world. I'm gonna look for something that's not the best thing in the world. Maybe this one. Um, Another way of checking, reviewing code is the not architecture, but like the folder system. Like for React apps, for example, you usually have one folder for components, one folder for assets, one folder for pages, and you just put them together. Um, and the yeah, so if for example all of the files are in one big folder and the naming convention is like a little messy, that's another way that that code needs to be reviewed, edited, etc. um what are other ways to review code? I think those are the main things for now: styling, foldering, um and then this is a little more advanced, but like if you're working on a project that's like a little big and is like in production, etc., another way to review code is to check for performance, time complexity, space complexity, stuff like that. If it takes too long for it to load, that would be a sign that you need to review that code. Um, but yeah, I think that's it for effectively reviewing code. Next up, we have go over the process of finding a project to contribute to. Um, One way to do that, let's try going through Explore. That is not, I like that there are penguins, but I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Let's go to issues and removing this so it's only the ones that I want. Um, There are 30 million open ones. Cool. Um, we can sort it by newest or yeah. And then what I would do is first of all check um how they arrange their issues. Like if it's just this, like bug and then bug. Oh no, it's there. The description is there. Because I was gonna say if it's something that isn't very descriptive. I wouldn't recommend it because then you'd have a lot of questions of like, what exactly do you want from me? And then what if you make the change and then they're like, no, that's not what I wanted. So in order to avoid that, look for projects that have descriptions of what they're asking for. And then let's say I want to do this one because it's very detailed. It has photos, it tells you what versions you need, etc. I actually really like this one. Um, and then what you would do is, hi, can I create this? Um, can I fix this bug? And then comment it, and then they'll respond to you saying yes or no, and then you'll be assigned over here, and then you just make it. And then sometimes you make one PR and then you're like, okay, I want to try something else. That's totally cool. You're not like obligated to stick with that project once you make a contribution. That's one of the beauties of open source. Like if you want to try all the React um pull requests. That's totally up to you. If you want to contribute to just one project, like you only want to contribute to Linux, because I don't know, the clout of being able to say I contributed to Linux, um, then that's up to you too. That's totally doable. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's about it, and about finding a project to contribute to. Um, let's see. How to find contributors. So, when you have a project that you want other people to contribute to, let's say going back to our, not that one, this one, going back to our MLH demo, what I would want to do is create an issue, new issue, create hello.js. I need a file that just says hello world in JavaScript. So I'll submit this new issue. Maybe another good thing is having labels. So this is, oh, one way to make it a little bit a good start to making open source contributions. Like, let's say you're not very confident at your coding skills yet, totally just do documentation. You just have to write comments on the code. Like, so you read their code, understand what it's doing, and then write comments about what it's doing. Boom, open source contribution, totally valid. Um, good first issue is another way to attract people for as contributors. What else? Help wanted, um, enhancement. So those are the four labels that I'm gonna have, and then I'll just submit a new issue, call it a day, and then watch someone that, like actually like label gets this. That would be funny. Um, yeah, so this would be how you create an issue, and then I think there are other good examples in my open source club's repos. Let's check out this. CVP looks good. If you look at their issues, these are well documented. These are, so for example, implement method to display CS classes and each of their prerequisites. It has a description, it has tags, it has a, we do have a Kanban board over here. Um, yeah, for like to try stuff out. We wanted to check it out. That's another um feature of GitHub that's super cool. You can make a Kanban board right in your repo. So that's pretty cool. Um, let's see. Yeah, so this is how you would find contributors. Make sure that um they're well documented and that they are um tagged, labeled. You should also cover writing effective issues in GitHub. Yeah, I contribute via an issue. I went over that just now. We're good. Um, What are we late by? It's okay. Is there any other questions? I have 45 more minutes. Again, I don't have to finish. I don't have to consume all of that time, but I just want to make sure that everyone has their questions answered. Going once, going twice. That might be the end of my live stream. Um, In that case, I will stop sharing and I will thank everyone for coming to how to collaborate with your team using Git and GitHub. Make sure you checked in and check out the schedule for any other workshops or challenges that you want to try out. And you're very, very welcome. I hope I was helpful. Um, but yeah, I think I'm good to go and I just stop the stream. Yeah, thanks everyone. See you.